means the same thing in Australia as it does in the EU. Oh, and we're live, so we better be careful what we say here.
Good thing I wasn't picking my nose or that thing we were talking about.
Hey, that's the thing, that every time we go live, you've got to expect that it's just gonna, it's just gonna happen. So
you better be here a few seconds before.
Exactly. Hello, everyone.
What are we doing anyway?
We're doing what?
Must I do everything?
Look, you just said that you run the show, you turn up on time, you're the
my
star.
Idea.
Yeah, and
I actually took my radio out of the box.
And we'll get to that. So, look, you may as well be in the first slot. There you go. How about we just do this? Let's just do this all
Howdy, everybody. Welcome to Ham Radio DX. Steve here, KM9G. We're going to talk about the Kenwood D75 and the Yaesu FT-5D and make a little comparison of which one do you think is going to win. Sound off in the chat now. Which one is better, the 5D or the 75?
Actually, we should have definitely opened with that, like as in a we can now chop the start of the stream off so that's the start. Okay, I'm going to do a poll. Yaesu FT-5DR versus Kenwood TH-D75. So we're going to vote Yaesu or Kenwood, and so check in the chat. There'll be a poll that's coming up. And this stream sort of started out because you and I were talking. Let's just weird. There we go. You and I, g'day, Andy, as well. See you later.
That was like hours ago when he said,
right.
like, see us later when the show starts. Just again, let me help you get to where you need to be, sir.
So this show sort of started out because Steve and I were talking in Discord during the week, and we said we're talking about the FT5 because when I come over from Hamvention, we got these pretty damn cheap, didn't we? What were they? Yeah. Were they $299? $399? $299?
They were below 300. They were like 297 or something. Like it was too good of a deal to pass up. Like we both looked at each other and said we could probably buy that and then sell it on eBay and make money.
We had the thought with the, I mean, because like there was plenty of people who bought these because they sold out on the first day. So we went to the place where we bought this from and we said, hey, have you got any more? And they said, no, we don't have any more, but we can ship them to you. And they arrived like 2 days later, which was really good. I didn't really have any idea what I was going to do with this. I still don't have any idea what I'm going to do with it. It's a C4 FM radio. Well, it's the only C4 FM radio I have. So that's, I guess, a point of difference. It's got APRS on it. It's got a whole bunch of other nifty things. It's got Bluetooth as well, doesn't it?
I don't know. I think so.
Yeah, it's got Bluetooth. Surely.
I haven't done that yet.
Oh, right. Yes, it does.
I mean, you'll notice that there's it's got the
Bluetooth.
Logo. It must have Bluetooth. Yeah,
it must have Bluetooth.
There's a glorious absence of FT5D content on my channel as well. I think I've done 2 videos that include this, but not a video specifically about this.
So, and then we got into the discussion. We're like, well, would you buy an FT5D, or what about the new Kenwood, which is coming out? Because
my favorite way, I heard this the other day, my favorite way of saying this, if you had the money to buy an FT5D, which radio would you buy?
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, we've got a bit of a rough price guide on what the Kenwood's going to be. Obviously, that might change. But we sort of want to compare that to the FT5D as well. So, I mean, it's probably going to be quite a big difference. What's our favorite store that we should look up and see what an FT5D's price is?
Amazon.
Amazon.
Our favorite. Nobody knows that we're representing Amazon store.
Yeah. Well, let's go to this one because we're not affiliated in any way, shape, or form, not through our own choosing, for this particular store. This one is showing as $429.95.
Yeah, and I swear we got it for like $297. I swear.
Yeah, we did. We got it. Hey, I've got the receipt somewhere. So $429. Now the Kenwood.
Is that dollary dues or is that US dollars?
No, that's US dollars.
Okay.
Now the Kenwood, from what I could see here on a recent, when was this? This was November 7th, I think. They're talking about 87,760 yen. So let's pipe that into our currency converter. and we go from yen to US dollars, and it's $600. So it's like another $150 more. So, in light of that, guess what we're bringing back? We're bringing back the chips.
It's been like 6 months since we've chipped out a radio.
Definitely. So we're going to go through some features as we go, because we're kind of researching this Kenwood on the fly because we don't really have an awful lot of information. We have a little bit, but we're going to compare it to the 5D. And as you, an operator of the 5D, TO, you can tell us what you think of the radio, and then you can then convince me to open up this box, okay? Maybe not by the end of the stream, but we'll see how we go. So I guess straight off, that's one chip for the Yaesu because it's cheaper, right?
Yes.
One chip for the Yaesu. Let's go through the comments while we're adding that in. So digital analog ham, I hope the build quality is a lot better than the D74. It was fragile as hell. I don't have a D74, but I do have a D72. And this thing is pretty bulky. It's not really that fragile, but I mean this is a few years old now, but this is the previous models to the D74.
Camping and ham radio, I can't help you with that. If that blue chip reminds you of a blue pill, I don't even know.
Liberty Cove says, Marketing 101, there's no difference between a want and a need. Exactly. Well, we didn't need a 5D. We just were like, I want it for that price because it's too cheap to pass up. Here we go. This is already a chip. Can we minus something that hasn't even got one yet? Alan says, Kenwood pulled out of Australia and there is no support/warranty. It's a very interesting question. That's a very interesting statement because when we were over there, when I talked to, was it Don? W9 GPS? The guy at the Kenwood stand? I can't remember. I think it was Don. Something Jeep.
Friendly.
Yeah. I mentioned that to him and I said, well, hold on, Kenwood's not in Australia anymore. Not that it's his fault because Kenwood is a global company. It's not Kenwood's
not anymore.
USA. well, it's not Kenwood USA who decides whether they're in Australia or not. At least not him. And, you know, I don't know how this radio, even if it's going to get to Australia. So, but yeah, it is something to think about with support and warranty.
Yeah, so we need to put this on the table right away before we get too far down the Kenwood fanboy path. The D75 is a repurposing of the D74 because they ran out of parts on the D74, which is why they stopped making it. So they took the D74 97.77234962% of it and put that one chip in and a USB-C connector, and now it is the D75. So it's not that different than a D74.
No, there is a couple of extra things that they did add in, and we'll go through the list of what they are shortly.
It's not
kind
a
of cool,
new generation
but it's not
radio.
No, not by any stretch. Hey Ben, I was talking to Ben last night. We've got to fix his All-Star node. His All-Star node's not reporting. So
is that Ben's over, Ben?
That's Ben's over. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's
Yeti Radio.
Ben's
Hey Yeti. It's the first time we've done a live stream in a long time. So welcome back.
No, it's
you didn't
not.
miss anything.
We did a live stream last week.
And then before that,
the week before.
No.
Yeah, we didn't start last week, did we?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, it's been a while.
It's been a long while.
It has been a long while. maybe if he's got time on it's Monday morning here. If he's got time on a Monday morning, we can do an all-star diagnostic of his
Awesome.
node and try and fix that for him.
Hope your foot's finally better. It was your foot, right?
I think it was his foot.
See how long it's been? He should be upwardly mobile by now.
Jeff, does the Yaesu have a KISS TNC? I think only Kenwood has that. Better for interfacing with computers and smartphones. It doesn't, does it, Theo?
I don't have any empirical evidence. We might have to Google that. But I don't think it does. I know the Kenwood does.
The Kenwood did. The Kenwood has a full... I think they refer to it as a full TNC.
KISS being an acronym for Keep It Simple, somebody.
Stupid.
Yes.
Oh, I can't. I can't see anything that says in a quick Google search whether it is or not.
So here's the marketing aspect of it. Back to what Liberty said earlier. If it had it, they would tell you all about it nonstop. So like it probably says that it is in fact gluten-free and vegan.
Yeah, exactly. But there's nothing. The only thing I can see is, let me zoom up a little bit so that those of us who don't have good eyes.
See, that's what I like about working with you, Hayden. I don't have to ask you to zoom in on something that obviously needs to be zoomed in.
Here we go. So APRS, it only mentions about APRS data communication.
Right. And that's over the air, not over the wire.
Here's something that I didn't notice before. So if you zoom in even further, 500%. APRS feature supported only on the B band. I don't know about the D75, but my D72 allows APRS on. It allows you to select which band you want it on, so you can have it on the A band or the B band.
I can kind of understand why they did that, but it seems to me like that would have been like extra programming.
Yeah, like
somebody had to go out of their way to disable it on the A band, not go out of their way to enable it only on the B band.
Yeah,
I guess that's the same thing, just said backwards.
So I think Jeff is correct. There's no KISS TNC in the D75. It's literally you go into the menus, you select your APRS settings and your call sign and your paths, and then that's it. You don't get to plug in and access it like with a computer or something like that.
Yeah, bring me back up again. You just did. All right, so I will give that. I think that's what that chip was for. See?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so we gave it a chip. So this is cheaper. This is support in Australia. This has KISS TNC.
Yes, that's correct.
This does not have KISS TNC.
Yep. Now, the two differences between the digital modes that are in this, so Yaesu will do C4FM and I think the Kenwood will do D-Star.
Yep.
So it's kind of much of a muchness. So they're probably equal on that. They probably don't need a chip each, but they do a digital mode each, their own proprietary. Well, they'll do that.
We'll argue chips over digital modes later on in a different stream.
I don't think either of them do, and I don't think do many people do DPRS, like the digital APRS version? I'm not sure.
I know ICOM does that. I don't know if anybody else does it.
No, I'm not sure either. Someone else in the chat might know that though. If they discussed ICOM, that'd bring up D-Star and the stream would be over 2 hours.
It would be.
Yeah, I've only spoken on D-Star once or twice using my 9700 and I mean, D-Star probably sounds to me a little bit better than DMR. Probably. It's hard to tell. I'm not a big fan of digital modes as far as voice quality goes.
The mic gain really makes a difference. It's really not mic gain in the classic sense. It's more like digital compression, lossy digital compression, where you're losing bits of data. So the more you turn the mic gain up, the more drunk you sound as it starts to leave out little bits of what you're saying.
You turned into German towards the end of that
I did,
German accent.
Yeah. It sounds really bad when you do that.
It does. This is a very actually good point that Taylor makes talking about the Kenwood. So the D75 is pretty much the only new radio that they've released in like the last
200 years.
3-4 years. There's been nothing else. So I think you're right. Hopefully they see, like as with most of these things, I want to see these companies succeed. I want to see Yaesu. I want to see ICOM. I want to see Kenwood succeed.
More competition,
we don't want them
more better for us.
Yeah, we want. We want to see innovation. So the Kenwood, hopefully, will sell to what they want, and then hopefully they can develop maybe a new HF radio. So it might happen. Just going back through the other comments here. Oh, screen size. Here we go. Digital Analog Ham says both have great screens, 5D, possibly better, bigger. Now, I don't think we have any idea on how big the Kenwood's screen size is. It might be listed somewhere in Doco, but
Is
both
it the
of them.
same size as the D74? Because it doesn't look much different to me.
Actually, you're probably right. Let's bring that up.
Because I mean, really, they changed as little as they could to get this thing out the door. They had more ROM space for code, for programming code on the 75's basic chip, so they did an extra feature, and I can't remember what that was. Maybe it's a built-in digipeater, if I remember right.
Yes. So, well, if you're talking about that, the 5D does not have a digipeater built into it, but the Kenwood does have a full digipeater. So that's probably another chip for the D75 if you're looking at that on APRS.
It's been chipped.
It has been chipped. And anyone who's seen our previous streams as well knows that the not everyone agrees with our chippage, but that's okay because there's no real winners. There's no real winners. I'm trying to find the D74 size. Why don't they make it easy to find?
Because they're not proud of it. If they were proud of it, you'd never hear the end of it.
No, I can't. I can find dimensions on the radio, but I can't find like simple screen size. So the readability, though, like just looking at those two photos, not that they're to scale, the 5D has quite large characters, doesn't it? Like on the screen, it's relatively easy to see. Is it touchscreen? It's touchscreen as well, isn't it?
The 5D is touchscreen.
I don't believe the TH-D75 is touchscreen. I haven't seen anything. There's nothing in any of the features. In the D74, there's nothing for touchscreen on the D74. So the 5D wins on touchscreen if you like that.
All right, so touchscreen on the 5D.
Yep.
And we don't know if the 5D is a bigger screen or a same size screen.
Yep. I mean,
it
looks
like it's the same size. It just looks bigger because the case is a different size. The Kenwood is tall and skinny, and the 5D is short and fat.
Pedro, Kenwood will have a crossband repeater in the Kenwood, which my D72 has, and I believe that the D74 has. So that's a continuing feature.
Doesn't the 5D have one also?
I don't. As in analog crossband repeater, I don't think so.
Because I know the FTM 400 does, which came out before this.
Let's see. Again, we're going to where they would be proud of it. It's no. There's no feature for crossband. No feature for crossband. If we go to Ham Life, if I search crossband, it's not in there either.
All right, our friend Chris at Digital Analog Ham YouTube channel has said the 5D screen is bigger than the 74, so I will go ahead and chip that up.
Okay.
So chipped.
Let's go through. Let's go through this. So this is Ham Life. This is the latest release that I can see on the D75. So actually one thing which is interesting, which I come across, let's zoom this up a little bit more, is that the D75 won a 2023 Good Design Award in October this year, the first amateur radio in 10 years to apparently do so. The design is the same as the D74, so I'm not quite sure how they won an award for something that's the same as they've already come out with.
Good job for that thing that you already did.
But hey, sure, that's fantastic.
So while you're looking that up, Alan has said that screen protectors are a must for any portable. So something interesting about the 5D, the screen itself is physically recessed behind a bevel. And as a result of that, it's not going to be as easily scratched. And the 74 is flush with the face of the radio. So that's where some of that scratching might come in.
That said, though, it's probably a little bit easier to put a screen protector on this than it is on the 5 being recessed in, because you could sort of, put it on there a little bit easier. Okay, so let's go through some of the features of the D75 and then we can compare them directly to the 5D. Because, the amount of features that this thing has is difficult to find. In addition to the new simultaneous reception of 2 waves of the D-Star system. Oof, sounds cool.
Terminal mode, nice.
Okay, so it's got Bluetooth. So the 5D has that too. USB-C. Does the 5D have USB-C?
It does not.
It does not. Everybody loves USB-C. So, another one.
Another one for the D74.
Yep. Now, while I've just remembered about it, we need to show off something. We need to show off our shirts.
Hey,
bro, do you even DX? That's my shirt. And what do you got, bro? Hey, bro, you 5'9 plus 20 again. These shirts come from James. James at Quirky QRP. You can pick up these shirts from James at his Etsy store, which I'll link into the chat. And he's got a whole bunch of these shirts, which are pretty cool. So James has kindly sent a shirt out to me, and he's got a whole bunch of cool ones. Bro, do you even Yagi Uda? Bro, do you even DX? Bro, can you even tune a tenor? And then he's also got some other cool, like the band plan mat. You've got one of those, don't you?
I do, yep.
The Ham Shack reference mat. These are USA band plans, but I have been talking to him, and I think he was thinking of doing a few other ones, maybe an Australian one. So we might be able to get that.
Did he give you a discount code?
He did not give me a discount code.
All right. So I will help out everybody in the chat by dropping it in the private chat, so you can put it in the public chat.
Look at this. This is
teamwork.
This is TO's discount code. There you go. Car Quirky. So check out QRP Labs. James,
Quirky QRP.
Quirky QRP. I'm gonna have to. What's his call sign again?
KH2HSR, I think. KH something HSR.
KH6 HSR. Yeah. Where are you, James? You should be in the chat. Anyway,
Quirky.
We just wanted to point that out. Now, back to the Kenwood. So we gave it a chip for USB-C. Blah, 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 blah. See, look, the T74, the TH-D75 rather, is a 2016 model. This machine is an evolution of the predecessor. Not sure about an evolution, but yeah, hey, sure. D-Star, we already talked about that. Main features, here we go. Compatible with APRS, compatible with display compass weather station, linked to GPS. Some of the translation is a little bit difficult to understand here because it's obviously translated from Japanese.
Support station list of up to 100 stations. That's not a lot. That's probably a misprint.
100 stations such as... That might be in my Kenwood D72, you do get a list of recent stations that you heard on APRS, so perhaps that's the one. And you can go through and look at all of the data from them. So maybe...
Oh, this is APRS specific right now?
I think this is APRS because it's sort of, talking all about APRS here. So I think that's just the last 100 stations it'll show. Messages can be sent and received in real time. Compatible standalone digipeater function, which we gave it a chip for. So you can use it as an APRS digipeater, which is good. D-Star. Simultaneous operation of 2 waves of D-Star in A-band and B-band. This unit can operate DVDR mode in A-band and B-band simultaneously. Now, I think there was some question about whether this radio was full duplex as well for satellite users. And
I thought the 74 was full duplex.
I believe the 74 is full duplex. So here's a quick list of all the features on a D74, but I don't think they're the same. They don't list it out in here.
Dual frequency reception, 5 or 6 from the bottom.
Dual frequency
That's hard to see.
reception. Dual frequency reception, but not. That doesn't really. That would like imply like dual watch type thing, wouldn't it?
It really depends. I mean, there's not enough language there. Pedro's saying the 74 is not full duplex.
It's not. That's interesting because my D72 is full duplex. Okay,
That's why yours is special.
Oh, you're right. So I've just Googled and there's a few people saying the D72 has full duplex, but the D74 doesn't have full duplex.
Everybody's saying the 75 is not full duplex. So no chips for either radio in this case because the 5D is not full duplex either as far as I know.
And that's a little bit disappointing too. Why would you take out a feature like that from the D72, which is like much older and not implemented in that radio? Because a lot of people, the Kenwoods, I know the mobile radios as well, they were always famous for their full duplex capability and for satellite, what's his name? Rob, Digital Rancher. He runs the Kenwood as well for full duplex for satellite operations. His mobile one.
I would think that any radio above the price of a Baofeng should be full duplex.
Actually, that should be a test that I need to do with my D72 because the one thing what you do is when you do have full duplex, if you're receiving on one band and transmitting on another, I wonder how much decents you get when you're transmitting because the Waxon radio, which I got, the Waxon, the quad band radio that I did a video on a little while ago, that does have a bit of decents when you're using it. So it means that if you transmit and you're trying to listen to yourself through the satellite, you won't hear yourself as strong.
Yeah. So Pedro's asking that the 75 is supposed to be full duplex. Can we check that? We did just do research on that, and we did not find anything special. And again, back to what I've been saying before, Liberty agrees with me. If it were full duplex, they would not shut up about it.
So I just did a search for duplex on this features page for the D75, and there's nothing at all. If I go to the TH-D72 full duplex, then there is plenty of information. And I know that it does full duplex because I've got the radio. So I don't know if I can get a brochure for the D72, but yeah, okay. So it can do that, but it says simultaneous operation of D-Star in the A and B bands. I'm assuming that they mean that you can listen or you can have D-Star operating on either A band or B band. That's pretty much all that sort of says.
But on 2 different channels, it would be my assumption as well.
Yes.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay, so Shooter Ready Standby says, we asked Kenwood at Dayton, they said no. I can't remember if I asked about full duplex. I don't think I did.
Well, Dave remembers.
Dave does remember. Maybe go back and watch my video where I spoke to Kenwood about it and prove me right or wrong.
Sam, duly noted, it has been disregarded. Jeff has the solution, and this sounds like something I would totally do. Just strap a Baofeng to the back of it.
Yes. Very good. Okay. flexible operation with voice mode and data mode. Yep. Okay, cool. That doesn't really tell us anything extra.
Oh, I like number 3. Just read it word for word.
Equipped with DV, digital voice, fast data mode, which speeds up communication throughput by placing data on unused voice frames, allowing for comfortable data communication. It will come true.
It will come true.
That's a promise. That's a promise. D-Star repeater. You can access the D-Star repeater simply by selecting it from the repeater list. That's good. That makes it easier, I suppose. I wonder where they get that information from. You must have to download a current list of D-Star repeaters and then put that into your radio.
Yeah, they said it's very easy to do, but again, we don't have the owner's manual or the radio to play with.
Well, I mean, even like if you look at what is it? Repeater. What's the website? Repeater.
Repeaterbook.com.
Yeah,
or
even that.
RadioReference.com.
Even those are not 100% accurate, right? They rely on the information of the repeater owners to put in the information. So yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about this.
So the ICOM, you can go to ICOM's website and download their repeater list, which also includes GPS info. And then you can, like on the 705, for example, you can say, tell me the repeaters that are near me. And it will let you scroll through. So you don't have to program it every time you make a trip.
Eric says, chip the Kenwood. It has a full keypad for DTMF and APRS. Actually, that is very true. Look at the amount of buttons. I mean, I like buttons. Buttons are good. There is a lot of buttons on the Kenwood. The Yaesu doesn't have that. How do you actually send DTMF on a 5D?
Yeah, you're going to love it. You have to program in the message ahead of time, and then you have to pick the message, and then you have to send the message.
So it's like a DTMF memory that you've got to punch in, and then
it's a pain. So this will come up again because it's in the starred comments. Eric's just getting excited, and Hayden is echoing that excitement, and so now the Kenwood and the Yaesu are equal.
Yep. Okay, that makes sense. And see, the only real reason I would probably use my 5D would be for APRS, but I already have 2 APRS handhelds. I've got an old VX8, which is a Yaesu here, which is Triband because it does 6 meters as well, so I'm not going to get rid of that. And then I've got my Kenwood, the D72, which does APRS. So I kind of don't really need a third handheld.
Speaking of the VX8, Sam had an interesting comment, but then he said later he was lying. So yep, he's lying. It does not have a built-in TNC. So never mind.
Yeah.
Sam, I did note that, and then I got excited, and now I'm disappointed.
So the only problem with the VX8 is to use it for APRS, you need to plug in at the top. It used to come with an old GPS module that you could plug into the top, and that you'd have a GPS antenna stuck at the top here. But obviously they don't make them anymore, so you need to try and find one or homebrew your own. There are some websites where people have homebrewed their own and made their own, APRS, GPS to send the data into the radio. But I haven't done that with mine. It's just too hard. So I've only got that as a Triband handheld, so I can use it on 6. So I think we covered Jeff's comment about the KISS TNC. Only the Kenwood has that. Lee says that he thinks USB-C is worth 2 chips.
So I will agree with that for 2 reasons, because it's 2 chips. One is it has to have USB-C for charging, and 2, it has to have USB-C for data.
Yeah.
It has to have both of those features. The 5D has a USB-C port for data. It's not USB-C. I think it's actually mini USB, which is kind of stupid. But you can't charge it over mini USB. You have to get a mini USB to barrel plug adapter for it. So the Kenwood does actually have that, so I will agree to drop another chip on that.
And let's be honest too. Yeah, the full TNCs means that USB-C is going to be used for that too. So it's a bit like the 705. The USB-C on the the USB on the side is used not just for charging but also for data, for accessing the audio, and for cat control as well. Chip the Yaesu, it's smaller.
It is smaller. I don't know if that's an argument, and I'm willing to have it. Don't get me wrong. It's smaller because it's missing the keypad, and missing the keypad on a radio that does text messaging is difficult.
let's assume, because we like to assume, let's assume that the Kenwood here we go. So rig picks.
Sharing your screen now.
No, yeah. So this is the D74, not to be D75. Let's just zoom in. Have a look at the comments down here at the bottom. Additional info, basically an updated TH-D74.
That's basically what it is.
What I was looking for was...
The D74 is not a bad radio, so it's not a complaint. It's just like, I mean, really, it's been like 4 or 5 years.
So there's no weight here on the D74. Let's go to the D75. Let's go to the D74. Yeah, I know a lot of people that love this radio.
Jim's got one for sale, FEP Labs radio.
345 grams, okay? 345, or for you folk, 12 ounces. 345, and the Yaesu... The Yaesu's weight
Squeaky
is
Toy Killer, he's talking about price. We did the price earlier, so it's lighter. Well, I mean, it better be lighter.
Less than 10 ounces is the Yaesu. So the Yaesu gets a chip for being lightweight.
Done. Chipped it.
Chipped. Okay, let's move on because let's get into reception. So these radios will also do wideband reception. The Kenwood will do 0.1 to 524 megahertz, and it will also do reception with lower sideband, upper sideband, CW, and AM. So it's not just an FM only receiver. It has fine mode that achieves zero in with a minimum step frequency of 20 hertz. Built-in bar antenna, I think that's built-in bar antenna for reception in the 0.1 to 10 megahertz band, switchable with SMA terminal. Oh, so it's got a built-in antenna.
So literally a ferrite bar like an old AM radio.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Furthermore, in the DV mode, it's functions simultaneously. Yeah, we know about that. Okay, so 0.1 to 524 megahertz is that receives the whole of HF. It's probably not going to be the best receiver in the world, but you've got the multi-mode reception.
Yeah, so Taylor's talking about this right now. He says, if I'm reading that correctly, no airband on the D75, but what Hayden's reading is 0.1 to 524 megahertz, lower sideband, upper sideband, CW, AM. Airband is AM in the 120 to 130 megahertz range, so it has it. It just doesn't call it airband.
Unless they split it up, but I doubt it because that's what it says there. It's saying that it's got that reception in there. What did the D... Let's have a look here. Let me zoom out.
Mike, again. That's SSB for receive, not SSB for transmit.
So, okay. So RigPix has the 0.1 to 524 as one. Reception AM, FM, narrow FM, wide FM, SSB, CW, DV.
Oh, wait. Frequency range, it lists 222 to 225. So this thing's a tribander? And the Yaesu is not.
That's interesting.
So let me chip that real quick.
Well, see, that probably won't be listed on the feature list that Japan have released because Japan don't have that band. Okay, so the D74 also received from 0.1 to 524. It was also had the tri-band transmit, and it also had all of the reception modes as well. So it's pretty much the same as the D74. Now the Yaesu, you've jumped ahead and you've chipped on the tri-band.
I did.
Because the Yaesu,
I'm getting
that's okay.
It's not big enough.
No, it's okay. The Yaesu doesn't have tri-band, so so that's what that chip there that's highlighted is, right? Because it does tri-band. This radio will receive a larger reception, so 0.5 megahertz to... Well, sorry, no. So the other radio is 0.1, so 500 kilohertz to 1,000 megahertz. And it will only do AM, FM, narrow FM, wide FM, and DV. It won't do CW. It won't do SSB. Now, this is a bit of a tough one because it's got a 500 megahertz of extra reception available, but it doesn't have the CW and FM and AM modes.
So what we
which
can
one
do
of
is we can
those two?
split the difference. So
Yeah.
I'll do it on mine. So the D74 gets the chip because it has the extra modes, AM and CW, and sideband and CW. And then the Yaesu gets the chip because it has the broader frequency range. Ta-da!
See, that's the thing as well, though, is that, I mean, it's obviously dependent on where you are, but reception from 500 to 1,000 megahertz, there's not going to be much. I mean, there's the 900 megahertz band over in the US that you can listen to, but there isn't anything else for amateurs in that portion of the spectrum. However, with the Kenwood, having the ability to listen to sideband throughout the whole of HF means that you can listen to almost every amateur band, every amateur HF band, using SSB. So my thoughts on that is that the Kenwood wins on that alone because it's more useful as an amateur. But
So I will agree with you in theory, and I will say the Kenwood can be used as a shortwave listening radio, which is kind of what you're saying.
yeah, yep. Now, did the 5D
That's
that
kind
does
of like a half a chip.
well, the 5D does AM and it also does down to 500 kilohertz, so you can listen to AM broadcast radio, and you can also listen to the airband using that too, which, you know, as you say, it's kind of a shortwave band, but I mean, you'll be able to listen to AM on all of the HF bands, but you know, how popular is AM on the HF band? Have you ever used AM on HF before? I haven't used AM
I have
on HF
not
before.
used it, but it is popular enough. There's what's called the AM window, and you can tune into that. If you look up AM window, it'll tell you the frequencies. It's not really a window. It's just a spot where all the AM big transmitters hang out.
27 megahertz definitely has a lot of AM on it, so you can listen to 27 meg CB.
What's CB? Yeah.
Okay.
American Citizens Band. Because you don't have 27, do you?
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know you have CB. You have UHF CB. I didn't know.
No, we got 27 megs. 27 meg CB is like an international allocated band, isn't it?
Cool. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't CB that often.
Do they have? They've got 27 megs in the UK as well. Yeah. We're restricted to, I think it's 4 watts AM. We don't have FM on CB here. I think it's 4 watts AM, but nobody runs 4 watts of power on AM on 27 megs. And I think is it 12 watts SSB? I don't know. I can't remember. I think it's 12. Might be wrong. Someone will know in the chat. Kenwoods deserve a chip for the Bluetooth serial port. No cable required to use the TNC.
I will agree with that.
Bluetooth over TNC over Bluetooth. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you've added another one?
I did.
Look at this. Okay, some of the comments that have come in. The Yaesu has the touchscreen DTMF buttons available if you click PTT to activate them.
Okay.
The Yaesu has touchscene.
We were talking about it having stored messages before, so it also has touchscreen.
So, but
keypad.
what do you? Is there a menu you have to go into first to get the DTMF buttons to appear?
Probably. Maybe you should take yours out of the box and turn it on.
No. We're not doing that. So you can do a live demo. So maybe if Metal Halo can tell us the extra step there, and we can learn something.
Oh
on this
yeah!
stream.
Wow. Oh,
have you
that's just
actually
interfered with everything. Yeah. So when you push to talk, the DTMF button shows up, and it screws up with my headset, and turns on a bunch of stuff, and then you can do that.
There you go. Okay. So did we do?
That's my headset.
Did we give a chip to the what happened there? Did we give a chip to the D75 because it had a full keypad, thinking that the 5D didn't have a full keypad? Because technically it does.
It does, and Eric, you are correct. The touchscreen does suck. So I'm going to take one away.
Okay, yeah, it's probably fair. That's probably fair. Let's do that. Alan, batteries. Kenwood has an atrocious battery stamina when using it. Yaesu would kill it there, and I'm a Kenwood fan. You're right. The D72 does have a pretty poor battery. The good. I don't know about the FT5 because I haven't pulled mine out of the box, but with the Kenwood, at least with my one, you can put 13.8 volts DC directly into the radio.
You can with the Yaesu also, and it charges up nice and fast if you do that.
Yes, and it means that you can run it all the time as well. You don't have to run it off the battery. And I'm guessing with the D74 and 5 that if you plug it in with USB-C, you could power it on all the time as well.
Yeah, you can. And I powered this through my cigarette lighter socket in my truck while I was driving back from Arizona, and it works fine.
Liberty Cave, how much power on 220? Good question.
Somebody said before that it's full power out on 220.
Camping and ham radio. Full power on 222 and the D74. D74 power specs, transmitter. They only specify 2 meters and 70 centimeters.
Yeah. So Rusted Link really quickly has said, does anybody really like the speaker? And London City Events has said, yes, they do. There you go. Teamwork.
Pedro again. He's calling the chips chip for Kenwood because it is a trim. Is a trim and radio 1.25 meters is not dead. I think. Well, we gave it a chip for 1.25 meters.
And he says that he has actually tested his, and it is 4 watts out.
Taylor says most of those frequencies, so we're talking about 500 to 1,000 megahertz, are trunked or P25 now, so you can't really easily listen to them. Scott says 220 megahertz is right in the middle of our DVB-T television DAB radio band, so it means nothing to us at all. I was right. 4 watts AM and 12 watts PEP. There you go. I wish that we could get FM on 27 megs. That would be pretty cool. I'd actually probably use 27 megs if we had FM on it. Okay,
because that's what's stopping you.
Didn't you see my short about things that ham radio operators never say?
Right.
Saying that I'm going to move back to C. Now that was a little bit of a joke within a joke because I said that 27 megahertz is much more orderly and better to listen to. But sometimes if you listen to some frequencies on particularly 80 meters or 40 meters, sometimes you wonder whether there is much difference. But anyway. D75 equipped with an IF output mode. It's possible to output an IF signal to the USB port.
Nice.
So you can listen to the received sound on this unit and check the status of nearby frequencies on your PC's band scope. So you can't do that with an FT5.
No, but the FT5 has a built-in band scope on it.
But is it any good though?
It's actually not terrible. Let me see if I can bring it up and find it. Give me a minute.
Okay, we'll all wait and watch you while you do that.
Because I don't remember where it is.
Scott says, I'm never going to use that Yaesu. That is correct. I'll probably end up selling. We've got a car boot sale coming up in a couple of weeks' time at our radio club, and it may end up on the table for sale.
There it is. It's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, there's
no signals currently.
I guess it depends on what you get out of the Kenwood. Like you could use, different software that looks a little bit better than that.
Well, the Kenwood, you'd be able to use just about any SDR software.
Yeah, which opens up your flexibility a lot more than just a simple band scope. But you might, but hey, that's built in. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. The one on the ID52, when I saw it the first time, I'm like, that looks like somebody's knitting because it's little pixels moving down the screen. It's not like one. You have to see it. It looks neat, but it reminded me of like a sweater.
Yeah, Yaesu's kind of getting better with their waterfalls and their band scopes. If the FT-991, which is kind of I would say it's like a 7300 vintage radio. The waterfall on that compared to a 7300 it's ridiculous, the difference between the two. The 7300 waterfall looks much better than the 991. But then they've gone to the 3D one and the DX10 and the 710. But then not only the 3D waterfall, which, it's kind of like an audio thing. But if you move to, you can still move to a 2D one, and they're getting better. The Waterfall's looking much better in that radio. But I mean, it's hard. It's hard to build to put a Waterfall like that into a little handheld radio, right? I mean,
yep. There's not enough screen resolution.
No. And you probably need a more powerful processor in the radio to be able to get any sort of decent resolution RF wise. Someone's just randomly piped in with an AT878 for the win. So cool. We did a video on that the other day. Okay. Strengthen voice guidance by significantly expanding the content of utterances. Okay. Whatever that means.
So hang on that one. Somebody mentioned it in the chat earlier. This is poor translation. This, I believe, what they're trying to talk about is when you go through the menus in the D74, it speaks and says what the menus are.
Ah.
And so it's more blind accessible.
Okay. So, I've spoken to a few people who are visually impaired, and they have said that they love the Chinese radios like the Baofengs and the Quanshangs and all these other ones because they speak back to you and they speak everything back to you. And it's very handy for them. The older ICOMs you used to have to buy a voice synthesizer board to put in them, like as an option. But the newer ones all come with speech in them. So the 75 having this in is now just a standard feature, which is good because it opens it up to everyone to be able to operate the radio. Does the 5D have that though?
I knew you were going to ask, and I just picked it up to check. I don't think so.
Because there's a difference between it announcing, like, I'm thinking that the 5D probably doesn't because it's touchscreen. That's going to be harder for someone to operate who's visually impaired compared to a D75, right?
Yeah, it doesn't. Option, let me double check option.
Someone in the chat might know.
Audio, Bluetooth.
I love my D72. It's fantastic. I had one and then I sold it and I regretted it immediately. So now that I've got this one back, I'm not getting rid of it. Big Jim loves the 5D.
But does your D74, D75 have the ability to plug in a USB camera?
Do tell.
The Yaesu has a camera mic.
Really?
I don't have the camera mic, but the Yaesu has a camera mic.
What's that menu? What's that useful for?
For taking pictures and sending them over the airwaves.
Oh, over C4FM.
Yeah.
But what's the mic for? You're not sending audio.
No, the camera's in the mic, so you plug your microphone into the port, and then you have.
Oh, right.
I'm still looking for the does it speak?
Yeah.
Because remember Yaesu menus, so we could put a chip on the Kenwood for that. I don't know how good the Kenwood menus are, but we all know about Yaesu menus.
I mean, I can't speak because I don't have a D74. Jim, you might be able to speak, or someone else might be able to talk about the D74 menus. The 72 menu, I find it very easy to get around because, I'm just saying it's probably because it's an older radio. But, you go into the menus, you've got a radio menu, a GPS menu, an APRS menu, and the old Sky Command menu for the linking what's it? Kenwood Proprietary's remote stuff. So then you go into these menus and you got display and you've got, it's all pretty easy to get around and to navigate through these menus. But we kind of know that Kenwood has a little bit of I nearly hit my camera. Kenwood has a bit of a history with Yaesu has a bit of a history with menus and not making them all that.
So I just
gave
the Kenwood a chip for the speech menus for the blind.
Yes, very good.
Neither of them get a chip for Braille menus at all.
No. No. Well, no. So the Kenwood probably should because it's got more buttons, right?
It's technically you hit menu 3 and it's power or whatever. Yeah.
Actually, I just looked at my D72 and some of the buttons are starting to wear off. I better not press them as much.
Need a button protector.
Yeah.
Start looking for a spare keypad on eBay. Make that one of your saved searches. Because you had another part. You needed a belt clip too, didn't you? Did you ever get your belt clip?
I ordered a belt clip which arrived from the US, and then guess what? You friendly guys at Coffee and Ham Radio sent me another one, which I didn't even know about. So I've got two. I'll never be out of belt clips. I spent a whole time walking around Hamvention trying to find a belt clip, and now I've got two.
Brother, can you spare a belt clip?
Where's James? Put it on a shirt. Bro, do you even have a belt clip?
Right.
Do you remember at Hamvention, handheld boy that was walking around? He had like 10 handhelds all around his belt.
Nice.
He had plenty of belt clips. Okay, USBC. Let's go back to the features here. USBC. Here we go. We found the size of the screen. 1.74 inch.
1.74 versus?
We don't know. I don't think I can find. I don't think I found the screen size in the specs.
Hang
on the. Are you going to measure it?
I'm going to measure it because I have my radio outside of its box.
Look. There you go. I opened the tab. All right. You happy? Oh, there's a dent in the box.
Oh, take it back. It's a 2-inch diagonal screen in the FT-5D, so the 5D has a bigger screen.
Chip it up.
We may have already done that, but who cares?
Yep. Big Jim says the D74's menus are easy enough, but reading the buttons when you select a function, the print is pretty tiny. Yeah.
Jim, that's because you're old. Says the guy who just started wearing glasses.
That's one thing that the D5D has is that the touchscreen is large, which we said before. Like the actual print and the buttons on the touchscreen is large, which you kind of need for fat fingers, right? So,
yeah.
How strong is the D7405 compared to the 5D?
And he's asking in reference to everyday carry. And so the Kenwood has an easily scratchable screen where the Yaesu has a recessed screen, so it doesn't scratch as much. You can get a 3D printed rubberized case for the D75 that'll make it a little more cushiony when it's dropped. The Yaesu has built-in bumpers on the bottom corners. So look at that. Ooh, special. If you took yours out of the box, you'd know. But
and to be honest, the amount of people that I saw walking around Hamvention with a 5D just on the in their top pocket or just on their shoulder. I mean, just ask Jim. He lost his and then he actually found it again.
Yeah.
So probably the 5D's definitely more EDC.
So this is a feature that I don't know that I like or I don't know that I do or don't like. This is the belt clip holster deal, and you can put it on the back. So if you wanted to radio, you could push the button and this would stay on your belt and this would be in your hand. But if you put one of these on your belt, then this thing here is whacking you in the face all day long.
But you were walking around with your Baofeng on your shoulder, whacking and poking people in the eye, standing behind you. I had
it like up here. So anybody that's 9 foot tall deserves to be poked in the eye. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, well, see, Jim dropped his 5D, didn't even know about it, and then got it back. So there's actually a picture. That picture is actually on the Hamvention website, too, of him picking it up. So I don't know if you know that or not, Jim, but it is. So that's probably a chip for the 5D?
Sure. Let me chip it away.
Okay.
Oh, we're going to have to go that way.
We're coming up now on the hour, so let's just run through some of these features.
So far, they're pretty equal. I don't know.
Yep. So the D75 dustproof and waterproof, which I think the 5D is as well. So that's the same. Built-in high-performance GPS antenna, supports repeated search function, GPS logger. See, I don't even know if the 5D has a GPS logger function. I've used that in my my D72 before. You can transmit APRS, but as we know with APRS, it only transmits a position like depending on smart beaconing. It doesn't do it all the time. You can turn on a GPS logger in your D72. So if you go for a walk, it'll actually track your complete track, and then you can export the file and put it into Google Earth, and you can see exactly all of the points, and it'll tell you your speed, it'll tell you your direction, your height, and it'll say everything as you're walking or driving along or whatever. So that's a pretty cool feature with the GPS logger. I'm not sure if the 5D has that. I believe they've both got micro SD cards, free programming software. The Kenwood has the IF reception filter to help you with the SSB CW.
W7LHT says, okay, now I'm on the right account. And I'm like, I didn't know you were not on the right account. And then he comes back and he says, no one knows me as Disaster. Disaster? I guess that's how you pronounce that. And I'm like, yep, you're right. I didn't know you as that person.
Does the D5D, they've both got D's in the title. It's hard to keep track. The FT-5D, does that have EQing?
EQing. I think that's what you said.
EQ. Echo Quebec.
Yeah, that didn't make it any better, Hayden.
Didn't it? The D75 is equipped with an audio equalizer that allows you to set 5 reception EQ bands, 0.4 to 6.4 kilohertz, and 4 transmission EQ bands.
I'm checking. I doubt it.
Here's our specs in Japanese. Where's the... Notice that, again, I think that this is the transmission one here, but it only shows the transmission specs because 144 to 146, it's showing the Japanese bands, not the American ones. This is interesting because at the top of the page it said that the price including tax is 89,000 yen. And it's talking here that the manufacturer's suggested retail price, tax included, is 80,000 yen. That's the D74. Sorry, the D74 was 80,000 yen. The TH-D75 will be, I think there's a typo there, 90,000 yen.
89,680 yen. I think is what we found out earlier.
Yep. So yes. These radios have filters which help definitely with reception. What's the just quickly? What's the GPS lock time like on the 5D? Is it quick? Is it slow?
Let's see. I am currently GPS locked. Let me turn it off.
Because my D72's GPS lock is very, very slow, and it's if you're indoors, it's almost. Okay, well, that was really quick.
Yeah. But it already knew where it was. It was cached.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
So the 72 that I've got is very slow, and it doesn't even get a lock inside. But that's a radio that's going back 15 years or something. So if I go outside, it locks pretty quickly. So that's one thing. Labcat, you can be on an FM repeater with your best SSB TX voice. It's a few yarn amongst friends. Exactly. So I guess, wow. Okay, so that's a lot closer than what I expected. It's exactly the same.
Yeah. This is what makes it really hard to buy radios. This is why we buy more than one.
Yeah, yeah.
Those chips aren't one for one. It's just the same quantity of chips.
Yep.
They don't all have the same features and benefits.
Just quickly, can we find this guy? Because this guy should know, because he was the model that was photographed holding the D. He's probably just got a D74 there, but he's been taking a photo of the D75. So let's ask him if he's on the stream. He can jump on.
Yeah.
So yeah, the 5D, I guess the 5D and the 75. It probably comes down to what feature is the must-have feature that you need. Like if there's something that one radio has over the other that we've been through that you really, really need, Like, for instance, if I looked at both of them, I would go, well, I want the D75 because it comes with the mode, the SSB and the CW mode reception. So, but that might not be applicable to you.
So here's the other question. So what's the radio I can afford? What's the radio that has the features that I want to be associated with? And what's the radio that I have in my, hands? I want to be associated with Bluetooth TNC serial data.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to use it.
Yeah, we did discuss that at the top of the show. It kind of is a little bit here nor there.
A little bit. How you doing?
Now, do you have that photo to share quickly before we close out?
Yeah.
Steve randomly sent me this message. Now, this is let me just stop your share so you can bring it up. So that's the 5D and the Kenwood. Now, Steve sends me this message that just like no context whatsoever, and it was just found in, was it a hotel?
Yeah, we're in the hotel lobby in San Antonio, Texas.
And he sends me this message and he goes, look what I just saw. And then sends me this photo of someone watching one of my videos. And I said, that is very random. So we don't know who this is, but if it was you, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. So
it was just very weird to be sitting in a coffee shop in the middle of San Antonio and look over and like, oh,
it's Hayden.
That can't be Hayden. No way.
I mean,
and it is.
America's a big country, but it's obviously not that big if people are watching my videos in random hotels. So I'm assuming he was a ham radio operator. So
if not, he will be soon. I mean, that was a whisper video, so that's way down the rabbit hole.
Even I don't know what video that was from. I think it was from maybe the Zactec whisper transmitter video, because I think looking at the screenshot I could see some of the results, and I think I was testing that. So someone might be looking at getting that Zactec whisper transmitter. So
yeah,
cool. But yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think actually, we didn't bring up what the poll was. So the poll was... Oh,
I'll be in San Antonio again soon, but I'm about 2 hours north.
So the poll is 144 votes. It's 49% to the Yaesu and 51% to the Kenwood. So you can't really... Even the viewers have voted accordingly that it's neck and neck on those two radios. So
yeah, well, keep in mind we only have 140 people watching, so four people ghost voted.
Yep. So let us know in the comments below which radio you would like us to compare, to do the analysis paralysis on, and which one, the FT5 or the D75? Let us know below. Thanks, guys, for watching. And as always, we try not to bring this up every time, but we have to again. Jim is